get our fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Yeah. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. On NFR, racing's the supreme. Checkered flags waving, champions arise. NFR brings the glory to our eyes. NFR, where the legends are born. Speeding past the limits, engines reborn. In the fast lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. NFR with the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR's lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. You move to NFR, feel the speed.
Speed demons burning rubber, SKR the lead we love. Sunday at 6, engines flare up, adrenaline shove. Tight turns, the smell of gas, tires screeching loud. Thrill on the track, every driver make the crowd proud. Racers gunning for the top, no room for any slack. Pit stop strategies, teams got each other's backs. One wrong move, dreams could crash, a season turn to dust. Victory tastes sweeter when the stakes are a must. Rev up, SKR brings the drama. Highs and lows, no place for the karma. Checker flag wave, dreams come alive. Sunday at 6, see the legends thrive. Dashes, wheel-to-wheel clashes. Cold sweat under helmets, pressure till it smashes. Race by race unfolding like a thriller on screen. F1 kings and queens chase that victory sheen. Rivalries ignite, sparking flames on asphalt. Pushing limits, no regret, not a single halt. Missteps and miracles, heartbeat sync with speed. SKR battles fuse with passion and greed. Rev up, SKR brings the drama. Highs and lows, no place for the karma. Checker flag wave, dreams come alive. Sunday at 6, see the legends thrive. Rev up, SKR brings the drama. Highs and lows, no place for the karma. Checker flag wave, dreams come alive. Sunday at 6, see the legends thrive.
track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Go, victory's close. Who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. NFR, lights are green. Zooming fast, slick machine. Every twist, every scene. Catch the action on your screen. NFR, yeah. NFR, yeah. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Go, victory's close. Who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. Lights out, engines roar. Sunday night, we want more. Speed kings racing on the track. Feel the thrill, no turning back. Drivers chase, the trophy gleams. 6 p.m., the race of dreams. Corners tight, they grip and slide. Feel the rush, take it in stride. SKR, we're racing high. Burning rubber, reaching sky. Drama twists and turns galore. Speed kings racing, we want more. It stops fast, the team's on fire. Chasing down their heart's desire. Highs and lows, we're on the edge. Feel the speed, no time to hedge. Rivalries, the fierce battles fought. Every move, it's match or not. Lightning fast, they glide and weave. All the fans, they can't believe. SKR, we're racing high. Burning rubber, reaching sky. Drama twists and turns galore. Speed kings racing, we want more. Rivalries, the fierce battles fought. Every move, it's match or not. Lightning fast, they glide and weave. All the fans, they can't believe. SKR, we're racing high. Burning rubber, reaching sky. Drama twists and turns galore. Speed kings racing, we want more.
Turn on the screen, it's NFR. Feel the rush like a shooting star. The engines roar, the tires scream. Fast as lightning, it's the dream. Speed and drama, every turn on NFR. The rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR. will play on NFR every race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, our only friend. Not Fernando calls the play on NFR at race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, our only friend. Deaf Queen, the top supporter, see in the crowd where speed is keen. NFR, the place to be. Join the race, watch and see.
Sunday night, lights are bright, engines roar, take the flight. On the track, speed ignites, feel the rush, grip it tight. Racers fly through each turn, fierce and fast, rubber burns. Champions rise, lessons learned, victories call, hearts yearn. SKR, feel the drive, hey yeah. Push the limit, come alive, alive. SKR, feel the speed, adrenaline is what we need. Fast here, engines wail, close the gap, never fail. Pit stops quick, no detail. Fuel the fire, trail to tail. Final lap, tension high. Who will win? Who will fly? Rivalries burn under the sky. Finish line, here's the cry. SKR, feel the drive, hey yeah. Push the limit, come alive, alive. SKR, feel the speed, adrenaline is what we need. Feel the speed, the thrill, high octane drama can't get our fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights we touch the sky. engines, we take the lead. On NFR's lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. You move to NFR, feel the speed, the speed.
Speed demons burning rubber, SKR the lead we love. Sunday at 6, engines flare up, adrenaline shove. Tight turns, the smell of gas, tires screeching loud. Thrill on the track, every driver make the crowd proud. Racers gunning for the top, no room for any slack. Pit stop strategies, teams got each other's backs. One wrong move, dreams could crash, a season turn to dust. Victory tastes sweeter when the stakes are a must. Rev up, SKR brings the drama. Highs and lows, no place for the comma. Checker flag wave, dreams come alive. Sunday at 6, see the legends thrive. Dashes, wheel-to-wheel clashes. Cold sweat under helmets, pressure till it smashes. Race by race unfolding like a thriller on screen. F1 kings and queens chase that victory sheen. Rivalries ignite, sparking flames on asphalt. Pushing limits, no regret, not a single halt. Missteps and miracles, heartbeat sync with speed. SKR battles fuse with passion and greed. Rev up, SKR brings the drama. Highs and lows, no place for the comma. Checker flag wave, dreams come alive. Sunday at 6, see the legends thrive. Rev up, SKR brings the drama. Highs and lows, no place for the comma. Checker flag wave, dreams come alive. Sunday at 6, see the legends thrive.
NFR, it's time to go. Feel the speed, let it flow. Racing hearts, watch them glow. Turn it up, start the show. NFR, feel the heat. Fast and fierce, never beat. Engines roar, can't stay off seats. Catch the thrill, it's so sweet. Stars afar, round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. NFR, lights are green. Zooming fast, sick machine. Every twist, every scene. Catch the action on your screen. NFR.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to SKR. Welcome to NFR on a Sunday at 6 p.m. Like always, of course, we're back for season 11, round 2. Of course, we've jumped straight into what appears to be a one-shot quali. Presume it's going to be this way for both sessions. So I'm not really able to commentate on the one-shot quali, very difficult, but you can see, just looking at your timing sheets, whoever's on top, that is the driver that is currently going the quickest. This is one lap quali. If you're not familiar with one lap quali, well, that's exactly what it is. There's no out lap, there's no in lap, there's one fast lap, and then we get straight on with the race. So Jonas, this is the quickest man so far. You can see him at the top of the timesheets. Lebby in P2 and it's Ferrari in P3. Of course, those times you can just see them switching around. But for now, Jonas still doing enough. You can see his Ferrari is just popped ahead of Lebby for now. And we wait for those final results. We'll wait for everybody to go over the line. Did have a disqualification. That's somebody that wasn't able to finish that up. Of course, in one-shot quali, the drivers don't see each other, so everyone does have a clean lap. There we go. Jonas takes pole position. It's Ferrari P2. It's Aston Martin and the RB down into turn 1. Then we've got Lebby and Martin, the two Ferraris. Hopefully they have better luck than earlier this morning. Then the two Haas, Sugar Bear and Pantry Star, followed by Skull, Smurf, Virus and Spikes, making up the top 10. The other side of the top 10, Andre P11, Harsh Cartoon P12. Then we've got Top Gun, Wheeze, Captain Slow, The Doc, Dispatcher, I think that's Boatsy, and Yuno. Now let me know in the comment section if you do know, are we going to have another one lap quali for the feature race, or are we going to go back to a normal quali? Let me know. But as you saw there, for the sprint quali, just the one lap, and then we get straight on into the race. Something that can happen sometimes in the short quali. We sometimes have drivers that forget to select their setup. Have seen it in the past. Also a bit of a pause. This is all the drivers just preparing for the race. Of course, no pit stop in the sprint race. This will be a start to finish. Or at least you don't intend to make any pit stops. If you are making pit stops, it's because you've broken something. Still a rather lengthy pause. Welcome to everybody who's watching. Everyone in the comment section, welcome. Thanks for joining. Hope you enjoy the race. There we go. We should get the dual green lights. There we go. Next time round, when we see them lined up, we'll get the 5 red lights. But for now, just the 2 dual green lights. That means we're off for a formation lap. 1 preparation lap for everybody out there in the field. Get a feel for the car with a heavier fuel tank. Of course, they won't be full. This is just a sprint race. Let me know in the comment section. I should have read up on the rules. This is going to be a short quali for the feature race. It's going to be a 1 lap quali for the feature race. Or will this field determine the starting grid for the feature race? Let me know if you know in the comment section. Nobody in the pits, so nobody's going to be able to let me know. Everyone is out on track. 19 drivers, 20 checked in earlier on, so one of those drivers is missing. Maybe he was hoping to squeeze in qualifying. That did not happen. Maybe he can still squeeze in for the feature race. You can see there towards the bottom of your screen, you've got 3 DSQs, that is Captain, Slow, the Dock and Dispatcher. Fear not, those cars will start the race. That is usually just an incident that has happened on the formation lap. Sends those drivers back to the starting grid where they have to sit patiently and wait for everybody else to arrive. There you can see those cars. Nobody knowing the qualifying procedure. Well, when you do know, let me know. We're saying he's on a default setup. Is that by accident, or is that to add a bit more challenge? What a fantastic camera angle we've got here from F124. Not only are we behind the cars, we're about half a kilometer behind the cars. So you're going to have to listen for those red lights. There's 5 of them, and when they go out, we'll be underway. We don't get a good view of this. Hopefully we get a better camera angle. Where is it? There we go, into turn 1, RB versus Aston Martin. Looks like the Aston Martin's going to hold the line for now. Don't want to do anything too crazy right here on the opening lap. It'll be a difficult corner to get through. First sequence of corners here in China. Jonas leads the way from its Ferrari, then the 2 Ferraris. Hopefully there's nothing illegal on those Ferraris. Of course, earlier this morning, both Ferraris getting disqualified from the race results. That actually pushed Esteban Ocon in the Haas up to P5. And another driver disqualified from the race was actually Pierre Gasly. Jonas leads at the front, it's Ferrari P2, that gap 7/10 of a second. Then you've got Martin, De Bruyne and Levy, the 2 Ferraris, and what a time to join them. They're going side by side. No team orders in that Scuderia. Got the 2 Haas's, and then just behind the 2 Haas's, rather you got the 2 Ferraris, and then just behind the 2 Ferraris you got the 2 Haas's. Always a little bit more difficult when the man you're racing is your teammate. Last thing you want to do is make a mistake, take both of you out. 0 points on the night for the team. Bear in mind this is only a sprint race. That means the top 10 do not score points. It's only the top 8. 1 point for 8th place. 8 points for the win. Think of it as a qualifying session with points. That is if it goes on to determine the grid. Jonas, back of the Aston Martin, just stepping out of line for a moment. It's Ferrari would have seen that and his eyes would have lit up. Levy in P3, Martin still in P4. Ferrari still split by 6/10 of a second. Then you've got Sugar Bear and Pantry in the 2 Haas, not far behind, 5 and 6. Then you've got Skull in P7. That is the lead Mercedes. The other Mercedes out the points in P6. Make it P16 rather. And then Spikes. The final point. Still a long way to go. Still, it's a 10-lap race, just a sprint race, so it goes by pretty quickly. Remember, you're going to have to rely on overtakes if you want to come through this field. There is no pit window within a sprint race. So you're not going to be relying on any undercuts or any tyre strategies. This is about speed from beginning to end. It's Faree. Lines him up and goes into the lead. For how much longer? Do you want to stay behind? Do you want to have the use of DRS? Just let that driver in front of you defend, defend, defend. Let him use up his battery. Then towards the end of the race, you open up that DRS. You give all the battery you've been saving. The driver in front won't have much to defend with. So it's Faree. Well, he's leading. Still needs to take note of that battery. Last thing you want to do is run that battery down to zero, trying to defend your position, because then you've got absolutely nothing to try and hold on. So two Ferraris still in the same frame. Teammates matching each other nicely on the night, the two Ferraris, and then the two Ferrari powered Haas cars just behind. Also have the two Williams drivers driving line astern, split by 0.2 of a second. That's the battle for P10 between Yuno and Andre. Yuno's made up many positions. If I'm not mistaken, he started from the rear of the field. He's up into P11 just behind his teammate. Of course, earlier on this morning, both Williams getting into the points. Good evening to Revolution in the comment section. Good evening to everyone. So there's a few of you watching. If you've just joined us and you're wondering what's going on, remember tonight is a sprint evening. We just had the 1 lap quali to get us going into the sprint race. That's why it's early on in the evening and we're already on lap 4 of the sprint race. The front of the field, it's Jonas versus it's Faree in a league of their own. They're 3.7 seconds ahead of the rest of the field, but they're only split by half a second between the two of them. This seems at this time like it's going to be a race between one of these two. The rest of the field's going to have to do something really special to reel these guys back in. Death Queen just got a new nickname in the comment section and she's absolutely loving it. Jonas stole the car up front. It's Faree, the car in P2. Now I said there's no pit stop strategy in a sprint race. I promise you there's a strategy between these two. They'll be thinking, when do you want to be in front? If you're going to get in front and you're not going to be able to pull away, do you really want to be in front on the final lap, defending? And there's not a lot of time to make all of those decisions. Simply got to get on with it. Already at halfway distance, a 3-second penalty going the way of the dock. I said that was going to be the first penalty, but in fact it's not. Dispatcher also has a penalty next to his name. Those are both 3-second penalties, so nothing too serious. Both of those drivers well outside the points, so I don't think they'll be too worried about those time penalties. Jonas, it's Faree. You don't get any closer than this. 0.4 of a second after 5 laps. Nothing separates the two. The two Ferraris still running line of stern, the two Haas. I was going to say the two Haas, but in fact it's not a Haas. It's Spikes. Spikes has made his way up to P6. So one of the Haas drivers have fallen down the field. That's Pantry Star down to P8, and now the Ferraris looking to switch positions. Martin versus Levy. Who's going to come out on top? Well, it's Levy. And Martin, well, he's not going to be too pleased with that. His teammate went for the overtake. It opened him up. He was defenseless. And he's fallen down the order into P10. That suggests to me not only did he lose momentum, is there damage to that car? From what we can see there, no damage to the front wing, everything seems to be intact. Maybe he left the circuit. The second Ferrari driver, Martin de Bruyn, losing out in a big way. As the two teammates from wheel to wheel on circuit. So now it's Ferrari, Jonas and Levy, that's the top three. And with the fight between those two Ferraris, that's just increased the gap. The top two lead the rest of the field by a cool 6 seconds. Lap 6 of 10. Let's see what's happening in the rest of the field. Levy P3, Spikes P4. Almost a 1 second gap there between those two. Then Wees doing a good job in P5. He mentioned he was on a default setup, so obviously the car will not be feeling ideal. Some of these default setups aren't too bad. There are definitely tweaks you can make that's going to make that car feel a lot more comfortable. And he hasn't chosen to do that, or he's forgotten to do that. One of the two. He's on a default setup, but doing pretty well in P5. Two Haas, they were separated briefly. They find each other on circuit again, just a few positions down, 6 and 7. And Andre has found his way into the points. If he stays here, he'll get a point for the sprint race. Still not far behind, looking to take that point for himself, and if they're not too careful they'll trip over each other and give Martin an opportunity to get back into the points. Harsh Cartoon, P11. Then we've got Smurf, Virus. Said had made up a few positions, he's lost a few positions again, down to P14. Then we've got the Doc, one of the drivers on a penalty. Well, the only driver on a penalty. Dispatcher has since retired. Captain Slow 16, Top Gun 17, and Boaty at the rear of the field in P18. Back at the front, Jonas and It's Free. I'm repeating myself, but it's because absolutely nothing has changed. These two, look at this, side by side. It's Free decides it's time to lead the race for a while. Goes ahead. Of course, there will be no tyre advantage here. There's no tyre game. Both of these drivers on a set of mediums. Same age. Same compound. This is going to come down to speed. This is going to come down to track position at the right time. A little bit of an internet jump. Gave us a big fright there. Looked like a big lockup, but that's not the case because the Aston Martin driver right on the back of the RB. Racing Bull. Fantastic car to qualify in. Not a fantastic car in the race. Of course, if you did watch the Chinese Grand Prix this morning, maybe you would have heard the news after the race that Red Bull are seriously considering bringing Yuki Tsunoda in for the Japanese Grand Prix for round 3. Red Bull have been pretty harsh on their drivers, but I think that would be a record. 2 rounds. I think even Kvyat got 5. Jonas leads from It's Free. It's Free took the lead not so long ago, but they've switched positions again. And this time Jonas gets the advantage because he takes the lead and then he's got DRS. So he's able to just stay in front. Still separated by 0.5 of a second, half a second, whichever one you want to call it. Spikes in P3. Weez has made up another position, up now into P4 and challenging for that podium. The only unfortunate thing for him is that once he does find P3, those two ahead of him are a long way up the road. Weez up the inside of Spikes. He does take P3 and now will be looking to just shake off that field. There's a lot of cars very close behind him. Spikes down to P4. Levy lost another position. The Ferraris were looking very strong not so long ago. They were 3 and 4, now 5 and 10. Then we've got Sugar Bear in P6, Andre P7, so he's going to pick up 2 points if he can finish there. Pantry Star, he has slotted himself into P8. But at the front, nothing's changed. Jonas and Ferrari, 7/10. We've seen the gap a lot closer than that. It is lap 9 of 10, so it's not going to be a long way to go now. It's when do you want to be in second place? When are you going to position yourself for that final DRS zone? And the problem is, all you need to do is a small mistake. And that could mean that strategy of catching the driver on the final DRS zone, well, it may not work. You still need to get everything right up until that point. Still Jonas versus it's Ferrari, nothing in between the two. This is the view from the driver in P2. You see Jonas just up the road. This is the driver in P1. We look back from the rear wing. Let's see how close it's Ferrari gets in the corner. Braking as late as he can, trying to get as close to the gearbox of that Aston Martin as he possibly can, so that when he opens up DRS, there should be no question. Next question is, well, the viewers can see it, I'm just not going to mention it on the stream. The next question is, what is the battery levels of these drivers? Jonas have enough in the tank to defend, and I think the gap might be a little too large, otherwise it's going to be a dive. He opens up DRS, he's going to open up all of his battery that he's got. Jonas goes to the inside to defend, and I think he's run out of space unless he can get a switchback. It's not going to happen, and Jonas may have done just enough. Ferrari to the inside, thought of it briefly. And this is how things are going to end. 0.05 of a second. They started P1 and 2, and after 10 laps, only 0.05 of a second was what was able to separate them. Of course, all of the top 8 have finished. Those are your points finishers. And everybody else, well, they'll get a second opportunity in the feature race a little bit later. Of course, for any of the drivers that are listening to the stream in the background, if you're about to just jump into the pits, let me know, what is this qualifying procedure? Are we going to have another 1 lap quali for the feature race? Are we going to have a normal short quali for the feature race, the one we're used to? Or will this set the field for the feature race? There are your results. Jonas takes the victory from its Ferrari. It couldn't be any closer. Then Spikes, he landed up keeping P3 at the end there. Good result for him. Weeze, good result considering he said he was on a default setup. Then we've got Levy and Sugar Bear in P5 and 6. Andre picks up 2 points in P7. And Pantry Star will take the final point in the sprint race. Had a great start but finished outside the points. Martin in P9, then you've got Harshbar 2 in P10. And they're followed by Virus, Smurf, Uno, Skull, Top Gun, The Doc, Captain Slow. And I may have missed the last 2. Now we have a bit of a pause, and I'm as anxious as you. 1 shot quali again. Thank you, Weeze, for the confirmation. So it's going to be a 1 shot quali. You're going to see this screen for a little bit, and then all of a sudden things are going to switch over into a fast lap very quickly. Remember, I'm not really able to commentate on that one-shot quali. The cars are switching up and down the timesheets. All you can do to give you an idea of who is where is look at that timing screen. The driver at the top of the timing screen will be the current fastest driver on circuit. And as you see those names flipping up and down, well, that's just the different drivers' lap times, because everyone's doing that lap at exactly the same time on an open circuit all to themselves. Wee's just saying he didn't mean to load the default setup. I said it early on, that's sometimes what happens in the sprint, is that guys forget their setup. And it's really just, you're so used to your ways, you're coming into the lobby, you're expecting that 18-minute session. You come in, there's not a lot of time, you've got to get everything ready, jump into your lap, get your head ready for turn one. And sometimes you miss a step you usually wouldn't. So we don't get the best camera angles. Difficult to commentate on. Simply have to wait till the end of the lap to see who is where. You can see Sugar Bear currently the quickest man. I'm sure any of the drivers listening to this in the background, they don't want me to commentate live or where they are in the field. The pressure must be immense. At the moment it's been between Ferrari, Aston Martin and a Haas. Those are your top three. And Jonas briefly up into P1. You can just see this is how close the times are. That's why you see those names flipping up and down. It comes down to a couple of tenths, a couple of hundredths, and in extreme cases even a couple of thousandths of a second. An interesting question came to my mind, and I have no idea why. This is the sort of things I think of when I have little moments of silence. Of course, in F1, in qualifying, if you have matching lap times, the way they sort that out is whoever did the lap time first gets the higher position. But in a one-shot quali, if two drivers were to get identical lap times, who would start ahead of who? I'm going to have to look that up later. There are your results. Jonas takes pole position. This time Wee slots up into P2. He's going to have a better start this time. Then it's Ferrari. He's going to start from P3, followed by the two Ferraris of Martin and Levy. Then you got Boatsy P6, better start for him. Spikes P7, Sugar Bear P8, Pantry Star P9, and Harsh Cartoon makes up the top 10. Bit of work to do from outside the top 10. Virus P11, Skull P12, and then they followed by Dispatcher, Andre, Top Gun, Smurf, Captain Slow, The Doc, and Uno. Welcome to Visor. Difficult to miss Visor in the comment section. Good to have you. See quite a few of you are watching here tonight. Not a lot of likes on the channel, so remember to leave a like on the video. It really helps it out. Lets the video appear on more news feeds. More people get to see it, and we get to spread the audience of SKR and NFR as we go. So of course we had the one-shot quali for the sprint race. We've had that sprint race, it's come and gone. We then had another one-shot quali for the feature race. That has now come and gone. We're now waiting for the main show, for the main event of the evening. It's the feature race in Shanghai, and it's coming up next. How do we have 17 viewers and 3 likes? Hit that like button. Hit the like button. Support NFR, support your league SKR. Of course, some of them won't be able to hit the like button because a lot of those 17 viewers, they're in the cockpit of a car. and they're doing their final preparations for the race. Of course, a little bit more difficult than a sprint race. Sprint race, you put on a set of tires, or at least the fastest set of tires that you believe can finish a race distance. In today's case, that was the medium. In the feature race, things get a little bit more difficult. You have to decide which tire you're going to start on. You have to decide right from the start. You have to commit how deep do you intend to go into the race. And if things do not go intended, your strategy can be thrown off the rails very quickly. Of course, many things can happen in the race. Nobody's mentioned anything about weather, so I don't think weather should be an issue unless we get a surprise. But one thing drivers will be looking for is safety cars. Drivers at the back can make use of those safety cars to give themselves a better opportunity to get a good result. Drivers at the front, well, they'll just be so annoyed. Every time they build up a bit of a gap, every time they get a bit of momentum, safety car comes out, closes things up, resets the race, and makes them do it all over again. There we go, there is your grid. We should get the dual green lights, and we do. Confirmation of the start of the formation lap. This will be the first time in the evening that the drivers get to fuel the car with a full fuel tank. Of course, first time we did a formation lap, cars would have only been fueled up for 10 laps. Jonas back of the car just getting out of shape. Don't pull a Hadjar on the formation lap. Of course, Hadjar shouldn't feel too bad about that retirement on the formation lap in Australia. Some greats have done exactly the same thing. But Michael Schumacher's very first pole position for Ferrari, he slid off on the formation lap into a barrier and lost his left front wheel. First pole position for Ferrari, never started the race. Guys are saying no rain tonight. Of course, sometimes Visor talks about rain when there's clearly no rain, so I'm not quite sure if I should believe his prediction or his forecast. Not sure where he gets his information. Is it from a trusted source? Of course, in that sprint race it was all about it's free, it was all about Jonas. Wies was doing a bit of work to come through the field. This time around, Wies is going to start right up there. It's going to start on the front row. So are we going to see a situation where those top two in the sprint race are going to become a top three in the feature race? Of course, all the other drivers, they will have learned from the sprint race how quickly those two got away at the front. They'll know they can't let that happen again. So important to stay with those leaders. Saw in the sprint race, it just took 4 or 5 laps for them to open up a 3-second gap to the rest of the field. For some reason, F124 wants to continue giving us terrible camera angles for the start of the race. Not too much I can do about that. We'll go on board. Or will we? There we go. And what a start, what a fantastic start for Wies. As we go on board with him, we can just see how he pulled alongside and went right past the Aston Martin. Wies into the lead of the race. It's free up into P2. Jonas not getting the start he would have wanted, but he's still there in P3 and very close behind. Then we've got the two Ferraris. They look like they were going to have a fantastic sprint race at one stage. Levy now starts to fall down the order. Commentator's curse. Otzi up into P5. Lead Mercedes driver didn't have a good sprint race. He's all over it in the feature race. Early days. Lots of action up front. Of course, that sprint race, it's just about a third of a race. So 10 laps for the feature race. It's going to be up to 28 laps. A much longer race. A lot more strategy in play. A lot more thinking that needs to be done. It's not just a simple start to finish race. Can do is bring up your tyre screen, give the viewers at home and myself a better idea of who is doing what. As you can see there, top two drivers, Wies and SKR, they're on a set of medium tyres. Jonas, he did not have a good start, but that might explain why. He's the only driver in the top 5 to have gone on a set of hard tyres. And if he's able to stay with these drivers for now, it would be to his benefit. Of course, this is the time he should have a disadvantage. These medium runners should be running up the road, using the extra grip. They're going to have to pit early and they need to create a buffer. But as long as Jonas is able to match those medium runners, all of a sudden it becomes advantage Aston Martin. The reason I say that is, well, the other 4 drivers in the top 5, they're going to have to pit before him. Their tyres are going to fall off. They're going to start slipping and sliding a lap or 2 before they actually come into the pits. And Jonas will be sitting pretty on the hard tyres, enjoying himself as the track starts to come to him. But for now, it's only lap 2, and the mediums should have all of the advantage. It's Wies from SKR, medium runner from medium runner. Then Jonas on a set of hards. And then the next 2 medium runners. We've got a Ferrari of Martin and the Mercedes of Boatsy. I hope I'm saying that right. Sugar Bear in P6, then Levy, the second Ferrari in P7. We're back to the normal format, so top 10 get points. Spikes, Pantry Star, Harsh Cartoon, all in the points. 2 Williams knocking on the door of the points. Juno and Andre, they've actually just swapped positions. Still 11 and 12. At the front, it's McLaren versus RB. This was all about McLaren this morning. Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, McLaren's second 1-2 in so many rounds. Wies leads the way from SKR. Then you've got Jonas in P3, Martin in P4, and Boatsy, that's the top 5. Sugar Bear looking to join the top 5, looking to send that Mercedes down the order. Of course, it's too early. It's too early to see the effects of the tyres. Everyone on medium tyres should have a good set of tyres still for a few laps to go. But there will come a time, probably around lap 12, lap 13, where those mediums are not going to be feeling too great. Those drivers are going to have to come in. And Jonas is the only driver out front there on a set of hards. I said in the sprint race, it was a race between SKR and Jonas, and with that good starting position from Wies, that may turn into a top 3 battle, and that's exactly what's happening. It's turned into a top 3 battle. Wies, SKR and Jonas have opened up a 4-second gap on the rest of the field, and it's only lap 4. Lap 4 of 28, Wies leads from SKR, Jonas in P3. This does change things up a bit when it's just the race between the 2 drivers out front. All of your concentration is just on that one opponent. whether you're attacking him or whether you're defending him. It's one thing at a time. But in a situation like this where there's 3 cars, well, sometimes you find yourself in the middle. You need to attack. You need to keep your eyes on your mirrors and defend at the same time. And it can be a very difficult place to be. So those 3 very close together. You probably want to be in first or third. Car in second probably wants to get out of that sandwich. Stressful place to be. The report coming through here on the comment section that the 2 Williams have made contact somewhere on the circuit. Can't give you confirmation of that because we didn't see it on our screens, but Andre is in P10. His teammate wasn't too far behind him, but now he's all the way down in P14. I wonder if there was any sort of contact between those cars. We get a better look at the Williams. We don't see any damage to Yuno's car. Hopefully that Williams is able to come back through the order. We're already on lap 9. Remember that sprint race was just 10 laps. How quickly has this gone by? It's Ferrari from Wies, from Jonas. That's the top 3. Less than a second covered the top 3. Then 5.6 seconds down to Boaty. That's the lead Mercedes and the best of the rest in the field. We got Martin, lead Ferrari. Speaking of Ferrari, there's Levy in the background lining up Sugar Bear, and he gets past him. So now it's Ferrari's Linus turn yet to gain 5 and 6. Martin and Levy matching each other lap after lap. Of course, they're in the comment section speaking of the incident between the 2 Williams. Of course, we didn't see it on our screens, so it'd be unfair to make any sort of judgment on who was involved in what and what exactly happened. We didn't see it, but I can tell you that the drivers in this grid, they're clean drivers, they're fast drivers, and I can't think of any name in this field that would purposefully make contact with anybody. So if there was contact, I can assure you it was an accident. Wies leads the way. It's Ferrari in P2, then Jonas in P3, Boaty best of the rest in P4. Is he closing that gap, or is the gap extending? The answer is the gap is extending. 6.2 seconds. Not so long ago it was 5.5. Those top 3 have pulled another 7/10 out of the rest of the field in the space of a lap. Levy up into P4. He's just gone past the Mercedes, makes up a position on Boaty, and this might just be the tyres. Is he starting to feel it? Surely not by lap 7. Now you can see we had all of those. We had 4 medium runners in the top 5. Now only 3 medium runners remain in the top 5. Some of those cars have since fallen. Jonas was the only one in the top 5 with a set of hards, but Levy has joined him, but he is 6.9 seconds adrift from those top 3. Just in a different league. Sugar Bear in P6, Oshkosh 2 in P7, then the second of the 2 Haas in P8. That's Pantry Star, another driver that's driving out of position. I've seen all of these drivers perform on their night, and I assure you, when they get everything on their night, most of the drivers in this field are capable of a victory. Lots of times it just comes down to misfortune. Get a bad qualifying lap, you start a lot further back than you would have liked. Maybe a mistake in the opening laps. Maybe a mistake in the heat of battle. And if it's not a race of multiple safety cars, sometimes there's just no second chance. Go back to Get a look at that Williams to see if there's any damage to that Williams. He's on 6-lap-old mediums. There is damage there to the front wing. So comes into the pits, 6 laps on the mediums, probably pitting a little earlier than he would have liked. But of course, all of these guys driving quick, driving hard. And while they might not be in a cockpit of a car doing 300 kilometers an hour, the adrenaline still does go through the roof, and sometimes incidents happen. I think everybody in the comment section will agree that when we see close racing, overtakes, passes around the outside, all sorts of things, everyone loves to see that. But there's always a risk. Every time you line up a driver, you're just one mistake away from taking yourself out, and possibly the opponent. In fact, we saw it earlier this morning when Lewis Hamilton ran over the end plate of Charles Leclerc. Sure, he had no intention of doing that, but they just ran into each other. Turns out the Ferrari was a little quicker without its wing. Weiss leads from Ferrari, then Jonas. These three, nothing changes. I said they were separated by less than a second. Well, right now they're separated by less than half a second. 1, 2, 3. Weiss, Ferrari, and Jonas. We do have other battles in the field. We've got Spikes attacking Andre for P10. Also got Boaty trying to get that position from Levy, get himself back into P4, get himself back into the best of the rest slot. Of course, it would be a good place to be if a safety car were to come out. You'd be on top of those top 3 again, and you might even get a free pit stop. McLaren out front, that's a view you're probably going to have to get used to. It's Ferrari now. He's going to try and get it down around the outside. Does he get it stopped? Yes, he does. There's the McLaren in the background, so it's Ferrari. Takes the lead of the race. Remember, he's one of those drivers that started on the medium compound. I'm not sure when these tyres are going to start falling off, but my prediction was around lap 12 or 13. We'll soon find out. It's Ferrari and Weiss still first and second on those mediums. So I don't think they're falling off just yet. Jonas could sit back, let these two race it out and inevitably come into the pits a lap or 2 from now, but he's not that kind of driver. None of these three are that kind of driver. They all want to win. They all want to be in front. And with Jonas on that hard compound, it is going to split those three up. Death Queen just saying, sorry Skull in the comment section. I look over to the timing sheet and there it is. Skull DNF, the only DNF of the evening. You'll be disappointed with that. Of course, at SKR we're trying to follow the F1 calendar as closely as possible, so when there is a Grand Prix on Sunday we have the same Grand Prix. This morning was the Chinese Grand Prix, and well, that's what we're doing right now, the Chinese Grand Prix. Next week there is no Grand Prix, so that means we go rogue, we go off the calendar. So next week we're going to be at Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas. Wheeze from Jonas from It's Free. And if you're enjoying this, come back on Tuesday night. Of course, then we return with SAFRL. A lot of the same drivers, exactly the same circuit. Hopefully we get the same sort of result, just 6/10, 5/10, half a second. Cover the top three, nothing in it. Next best, Levy down the road, almost 8 seconds down the road. The rest of the field praying for some sort of stoppage in the race, some sort of safety car to come and save them, close that gap up. It's just over a third of the race distance, and the gap between the top three to the rest of the field is 8 seconds. The Doc picks up a penalty, the fourth driver to pick up a penalty. We've got 3 seconds apiece for Dispatcher, Virus and Boaty, and then 6 seconds for the Doc. It's not going to help him too much. He's already at the rear of the field. Then he has to add 6 seconds to his race time. Still the top three. But this time they have switched orders. Jonas, now the driver in the lead. Wheeze P2, It's Free P3, and all those mediums starting to go. Not yet. Wheeze around the outside, back into the lead of the race. That was a brave move, and that's what I mean. Sometimes you see fantastic racing. 9 times out of 10 you're going to see fantastic racing, fantastic overtakes, just like that. But the other 1 times out of 10, well, there's human error. Wheeze, Jonas, Faree. Now the questions start to pop up. When do these drivers pit? I said it was going to be round about lap 12, lap 13. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not the best driver to ask. If you ever seen me drive one of my races, well, you'd ask, why is this guy even commentating? It's the reason I only commentate and I never stream my own races. Don't need anyone seeing that. Wheeze, Jonas, switching positions. This is going to be, almost looked like there was going to be 3 wide madness, but they thought better of it. Jonas into the lead. What do the next 2 do? Or one of these going to come into the pits? Yes, one of them do. The Ferrari stays out. It's Faree. He dives into the pits. He's going to try and get the undercut, get ahead of the McLaren, open up a bit of a gap. Hopefully something a little bit bigger than a couple of tenths. We are now officially in that pit window. First of those top 3 to pit was It's Faree. Is he still in the pits? Where is It's Faree? There we go. He's coming out of the pits now. Seemed like a lengthy pit stop. He's down in P11 now behind his teammate. His teammate's probably not going to give him too much hassle. Knows they're in 2 very, very different races. He has since got past his teammate, but now he's going to have to dispatch of the dispatcher. And he's done so in record time. Took him just 1 corner. It's Faree up into P9. The dispatcher is not going to make it that easy. Long way around, and It's Faree holds on to get the inside into the next corner and retake P9. But now he's on a set of hard tyres and looking to go to the end of the race. Go back to the top 2. We want to see what they're going to do next. Who's going to come into the pits? Well, surely it's going to be Wheeze that comes into the pits. He's on the set of mediums. Jonas is still going to go further on into this race. Chosen the hard compound, and there goes the McLaren. It just disappears from our screens. If I wasn't familiar with that pit entry, I'd think the driver just went off into the gravel and crashed. you remember the Sepang circuit in Malaysia, when the camera was on the main straight, sometimes it would just look like somebody spectacularly went off in the final corner, but that was just the pit entry. Dispatcher picks up another 3-second penalty. And penalties are the last thing you want to be picking up. If you do get lucky, if you do make up positions, and suddenly you've got all those penalties next to your name, all that hard work could simply disappear. Very important to stay out of that penalties column. You could win the race, overdo it on penalties, and not find yourself on the podium. Lewis Hamilton broke another record this morning. Lewis Hamilton is officially the only driver in F1 history to pick up a victory and a disqualification on the same race weekend. It is a bit of an odd stat, but it is a stat. Jonas leads the way, and for the first time in this race, and of course even for the sprint race, it's going to be the first time he's going to be able to look in his mirrors and see absolutely nothing. He's got the track to himself, and the next couple of laps are going to be very important for him. This is Sugar Bear. He's now gone up into P2 as a result of all those pit stops. Letting you all appreciate the sounds of the Haas. Of course, big news in F1 is that V10s may make a return in the year 2029. Looks like our new regulations that are coming in 2026 may not have a very long lifespan. Jonas still leads the way. Very important laps these are. Of course, the two men he's racing, those are Wies and it's Ferrari, the closest drivers at least that he's racing. They have both come into the pits. They both started on the medium compound. They'll now be in the middle of the field looking to make up time on that fresh set of tires. And Jonas just looking to take these tires probably to lap 17 or 18. Come in, put on the set of mediums, and then he should be the driver at the end of the race to have the compound advantage. A lot of dialogue there in the comment section about the Williams incident. Hopefully we can put all of that aside and get on to the next round. Of course, there was a mistake. Both drivers are still out on circuit. One of them is in the points, the other one is not far away. So Williams can still bag some points tonight. And of course, some of those drivers may be listening to the stream. And the more I talk about that situation, the more it's going to distract them. So let's let the Williams drivers get to the end of the race. And let's let the stewards do the job that they volunteered to do. I was going to say the job they get paid to do, but yeah, they don't get paid. That would be a great addition though. I might even become a steward. Jonas leads the way, 19 seconds. We's now the man in P2, it's Ferrari, the man in P3, so those three have come back together. Now the times just look extremely different. We's leads by 19 seconds. On most race circuits here on the F1 calendar, you're going to need about 20 seconds to make a pit stop, come in, make the stop and get back out there. At the moment things would be very much touch and go, just 19.5 seconds between the two. If it is indeed 20 seconds for a pit stop, well, they're going to find each other on the racetrack as close as they once were before the pits. You can see that Wees has made up quite a lot of time on its Ferrari. Those two drivers were very close together prior to the pit stops. Its Ferrari actually came in first. I thought he would get the undercut on the McLaren. That hasn't worked. Sometimes what can happen is you're thinking of the undercut, but when you come out of the pits, you come out of the pits into traffic, and those ideal lap times you had in your mind never come to fruition. And at the end of the pit window, you scratch your head as somewhere you've lost 3 seconds. Jonas leads from Wees. Where is the leader? There he is. He's come into the pits. We said you need about 20 seconds. Let's see how close I was. The gap was 19.5 seconds. Where is Wees? He's gone into the lead of the race. Gap much bigger than I anticipated. Thought it was going to be really touch and go. But Jonas has come out almost 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds behind the leader. 0.7 of a second behind its Ferrari. And its Ferrari all of a sudden is going to have his hands full all over again. But this time round, he's not going to have that tyre advantage. He's not going to have the softer compound. He's going to have to defend from a very quick driver in the form of Jonas on a brand new set of tyres. Wees leads the race and he's got a nice comfortable gap for now, 3 seconds. Keep your eyes on that gap. It's Ferrari. He's not able to do much about that gap now because he's doing everything he can to defend from the Aston Martin. And unfortunately for him, I don't think he's going to be able to pull that off unless the Aston Martin misses its braking point, which it hasn't done. Wees leads now from Jonas. And the gap for the lead 2.5 seconds with 10 laps to go. Gap at the front, coming down ever so slightly. It was 2.5 seconds. Now, well, it's just gone back to 2.5 seconds. Did Jonas make a mistake? I don't think he has made a mistake. But he's entered into a battle with its Ferrari. So it's Ferrari getting involved there with the Aston Martin, and it just allows Wees to get an extra breath. Finds an extra 3/10 as a result of those two going to wheel ever so briefly. And he'll be looking at the timesheets and saying, yes, go for each other more. He'll be rooting on its Ferrari right now. Attack him, attack him, attack him. The more you do that, the less he can focus on me. 2.8 seconds at the front. Gap remains stable for now. Beyond those top three, next best, the two Ferraris, Levy P4, Martin de Bruyn in P5. Then we've got one of the two Alpines, that's Spikes, Andre P7, then the two Haas drivers, Pantry Star and Sugar Bear. Virus, currently, that's not Virus, apologies, picking up the final point, currently in P10, 11 lap old hard tyres. And no points so far. Harsh Cartoon, Top Gun, Dispatcher, Virus, Smurf, Boatsy, The Doc and Captain Slow, just the one retirement. Unfortunately, or unfortunately, whichever side of the fence you're sitting on, it did not trigger a safety car. That may have been a retirement in the pits. From Jonas, and it's 3. So keep your eyes on the gap at the front. That's the important one. It was 2.8, it came down to 2.5. Then the drivers in P2 and 3 engaged in a short battle. It gave Weeze a little bit of respite, gave him a little bit of a break. He picked up another 3/10, took the gap up to 2.8, but now it's been steadily dropping. It's been steadily dropping. It's Faris dropped a 1.5 seconds behind Jonas, which means Jonas isn't concentrating on his mirrors anymore. He can focus on the McLaren up the road, and it's a difficult car to miss. Bright papaya of the McLaren. You can see it. There it is. Not far. 9/10. He's within DRS. 8 laps to go. And Weeze would have been hoping to have just held that lead for a little longer. Been very quiet in the comment section, Liza. You enjoying the racing? Skull, let me know what caused your retirement. Weeze missed his braking point there, did get it stopped at the end, still keeps the McLaren in front for now. But you can see any gap that was there is now gone. It's 3/10 of a second, Weeze versus Jonas. And it's Faris. We'll just be hoping that those two can engage in battle for a lap or two, and that should bring him right back into this battle. Now the Aston Martin goes to the inside. Weeze can do nothing about it. Simply needs to accept his fate. Jonas goes into the lead on the superior compound of tyre. Attention will now change to Weeze. Weeze's next job will be stay as close to that Aston Martin as possible, stay within the DRS for as long as possible, and if you're lucky, in the last lap or two, those mediums might just go off enough for you to mount an attack. But as things stand, it's Jonas from Weeze. 0.5 seconds is the gap. And as for it's Faris closing in on the top 3, he's doing the opposite. He's falling back. 3.3 seconds for the driver in P3. He's not able to make up any ground on those two ahead of him. NFR thoughts on the F1 race today? Well, it was an interesting race. Of course, McLaren were the favourites, though they didn't get a fantastic qualifying result in the sprint race, but they proved their pace in qualifying. Of course, there's lots to talk about the two Ferraris who both got disqualified, and they actually got disqualified for different reasons, believe it or not. Charles Leclerc was disqualified for being underweight, and Lewis Hamilton was disqualified for the plank under the car being apparently 5mm off what it should have been. Skull saying L FIA. Well, I think the FIA does have a lot of L's. There's a lot of things with the FIA that I don't agree with. But as for getting disqualified for being outside the rules, well, I suppose Ferrari have to take that one on the chin. They weren't the only two cars to get disqualified. Of course, Pierre Gasly also getting disqualified for being underweight. think you still have to give it to Max Verstappen though. If you take where the points were at the end of round 1, and you take where the points are at the end of round 2, somehow Max Verstappen only dropped 1 point to Lando Norris. So it's about consistency. It's about turning 6th and 7th places into podiums. I'll tell you, one last season. I think it's going to be a fantastic season going forward, because we can see those top 4 so close together. And I think we might still see something special from Williams this season. Yeah, Skull is saying Pierre Gasly, like the way I almost said Pierre Gasly live on stream. For some reason, every time I'm about to say that name, I think of Danny Ricciardo. Of course, Danny Ricciardo has left up 1, but he has left us with a good few memes that are going to remain for a long time to come. Jonas leads the way from Wheeze. It's Ferrari still in P3 and still falling back, as is Wheeze. So these top 3, they were so close together prior to the pit stops. But after the pit stops, cars have started to dramatically spread apart. At one stage, half a second covered the top 3. Now it's more than 7 seconds covering the top 3. Of course, Skull, that wasn't the only name Ricciardo changed. He also Hülkenberg. Nico Hülkenberg. I think even more interesting than that is hearing my dad pronounce some names. It's my dad. Dad is Portuguese. He's got the heavy Portuguese accent, and there's some surnames he just can't say. So he quickly gives up and just makes one up. So Pasta Maldonado, according to my dad, is Pasta McDonald's. Jonas leads from Wheeze, from its Ferrari, but that battle no longer a close one. Now it's all about keeping the car pointing in the right direction, bringing the car home and picking up the points, making no mistakes in the closing stages. Not too many battles to speak of on circuit. There is a battle. There's a battle for P7, Sugar Bear versus Andre, Haas versus Williams. That's right, Nico Hülkenberg. Nico, an incredible driver. He's driven for so many teams. Still looking for the first podium in Formula 1. He's taken a few 4th places. Missed out on a couple of 3rd places. But hopefully we get to see him step on the podium before he leaves the sport. Not long to go. When they go over the line, it's going to be lap 26 of 28. Jonas, Wheeze, Ferrari. I don't think there's going to be any changes in those top 3 unless we see big drama, unless we see big mistakes. And I think we've already crossed the safety car mark. That means we can't have any more safety cars in this race. 26 of 28. There's no time for a safety car. So this will be a race to the finish. The only thing that can change these results is a major mistake. Martin, his race is not quite finished. He's in P5, but he has to do a lot of work in order to defend that P5. Spike's just behind him in the Alpine. when you're racing someone like this, the race does go by a lot faster. He's here in P2. This is the situation I mean when you're by yourself. You can see that car ahead of him, but that's a ghost car. That's the car he's about to lap. You can't see the leader. You can't see the driver behind you. That's when the laps can just start to feel a little longer. Of course, at this point in the race this morning, Lando Norris had to get off the throttle because he was having a serious brake wear issue. None of the drivers experiencing that here tonight. Everybody can push right to the very end. Jonas, Wies, it's Ferrari remains the top three. Then it's the two Ferraris, best of the rest, 4 and 5. And as I say that, they're not 4 and 5, they're 4 and 6. Spikes puts himself up into the top 5, gets around the Ferrari. Not long to go. He'd love to hold on to that position. Of course, we've had the one retirement from Mercedes. That was Skull. The other Mercedes not in the points. That's Boaty. Mercedes not having a fantastic start to the season. I think they're only 8th in the Constructors' Championship and they're going home empty-handed tonight. Jonas just finishing things off now. Trying to get things to the end. Still have a battle for P5. Martin still wanting that P5. Not ready to give up on that. Sugar Bear having a good race as well in P7. Andre in P8. With all the apparent dramas, still getting a good result. And we've got Pantry Star in P9 and Dispatcher picking up the final point, but he may very well lose that point down to penalties. And if things finish as they are, he will indeed lose that point. Gap at the front getting bigger and bigger. I said that those mediums might start to fall away in the closing stages of the race, and Wies might be able to come back. But Jonas opened the gap beyond DRS. He never looked back, opened up the gap, and even if those mediums are starting to slip and slide, there's no time left in the race for Wies to do anything about it. 5.4 seconds is the gap, and we're in the closing stages of round 2 in China. We have a battle between Yuno and Top Gun. That's for P12, just a tenth of a second between the two drivers. Yuno's also racing Virus for P11. Of course, all of those positions outside of the points, but Dispatcher in P10 will lose that position. So Virus, Yuno and Top Gun, they are fighting for that final point. Jonas having a bit of fun, doing a bit of a weave. An early celebration. Don't talk too much about early celebrations, just look up Nigel Mansell. Early celebration. Jonas goes over the line, takes the checkered flag, takes the victory. Wies over the line in P2, he'll be happy with that. He'll be a little bit disappointed he wasn't able to stay with the Aston Martin for longer. And then it's Ferrari. Makes it the top 3. You can see some of the drivers at the rear of the field. They've already got the checkered flag. That means those drivers were lapped, which means they don't have to do the extra lap to finish the race. They finished the lap on lap 27. Well done coming in from the comment section to Jonas. Fantastic race he had. He was pushed in the sprint race. He was pushed in the feature race. And nobody was able to crack him. believe everyone has now crossed the checkered flag, so now we're just waiting for the time to tick down. We'll get a view of our driver of the day in a moment. And there is your race winner, Jonas. And where's the driver of the day? There it is, Well, picks up driver of the day. I think he did pick up that final point. Let's just wait for the final results. There you have it, folks. That is the end of season 11, round 2. Of course, like I mentioned in the race, or whether it was in commentary or the race, I'm not sure, but I mentioned during the stream that we're trying to follow the F1 calendar where possible. So when there's an F1 race, well, that's the circuit we're doing later that night. When there isn't an F1 race, well, then we go off calendar. So next week, we're going to be going to Circuit of the Americas, going to COTA. Of course, long before that, we're going to be back on this channel on Tuesday night. We're going to do this circuit again, lots of the same drivers. So I hope everybody tunes in on Tuesday night for more of this action. Of course, as I always do, I allow 2 or 3 minutes for anyone who wants to join the comms box after the race, if you want to have a chat about your race. So I'm going to allow the stream to run for 2 or 3 minutes. Then I'll be back either with someone in the comms box or to come and say goodbye. I'll be back with you in a few moments.
Stars afar, around the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lights out, engines roar. Sunday night, we want more. Speed kings racing on the track. Feel the thrill, no turning back. Drivers chase, the trophy gleams. 6 p.m., the race of dreams. Corners tight, they grip and slide. Feel the rush, take it in stride. SKR, we're racing high. Burning rubber, reaching sky. Drama twists and turns galore. Speed kings racing, we want more.
Welcome back, everyone. Looks like nobody's going to be joining the comms box this evening. So I'm going to say my final goodbyes. I want to thank everybody who joined the stream tonight, everybody who contributed in the comment section. And of course, like I said, we will be back Tuesday night. Change of league. We're going to go from SKR to SAFRL, but it's the same circuit. And for the most part, you're going to have a lot of the same drivers. So if you enjoyed what you saw tonight, tune in on Tuesday for more. And then, of course, next week we're back with SKR for the Circuit of the Americas. And for those of you who's watching, also remember SAFRL China on Tuesday. The week after that, it's going to be the first time we have a mystery circuit that is not going to be decided by a spinny wheel. It's going to be decided by you. It's going to be decided by you, the viewer. So just after China on Tuesday night, we're going to put a poll up on the channel. You guys can vote for a circuit, and that's where round 3 will be. So until Tuesday night, thank you everybody very much, and I'll see you then. Cheers.